I've known Mr. Carlo for 34 years.
About 24 years.
A year and a half now.
I've known Mr. Carlo for the few years that I've worked here at Assabet.
For probably 15 years.
For 10 years.
Since I started teaching here 8 years ago, 8 short years ago.
For the past 6 years while teaching here at Assabet.
For 2 years, a little more than 2 years.
Since I started working about 2.5 years ago.
For 9 years.
For 18 years.
I guess a lucky 13 years.
Since I was 15 years old, I am now 47 years old. You do the math.
About 4 years.
Since 1984, when I was a freshman here at Assabet, and for about 4 years until I graduated in '87, and then when I was rehired back in '03 as a culinary arts instructor.
The most memorable moment would have been the time that he pulled me out of a 4-foot muddy trench.
I think probably, and I've talked to Jean about this before, I used to have to go with the school committee that I'm on into budget sessions in the town of Northborough, and I would always have to follow Assabet. And every time that we went into those budget meetings with the appropriations committee, all they would say to us is, why can't you do it the way Jean does?
Most memorable times was when I was a student as a senior in 1988. Mr. Carlo was one of the folks who handed me my high school diploma.
My most memorable moment, or moments, with Mr. Carlo is when I come in on Mondays, and whether I have a win or a loss, depending on how our football season goes, he's always very interested in talking to me about it, picking me up when I'm a little down if we lost, and certainly making me feel good when we won.
We were teachers together back in the early days, and we coached together back in the early days.
I do. Actually, when I was a student here back in the middle 80s and late 80s, Mr. Carlo was a teacher, and then also the business manager at the time, and then eventually became a superintendent.
A little bit outside of school, being part of the administrative team, we get together sometimes, and he's a great